Her small fingers clung to the maid's hand, trembling yet certain. "I want her," the little girl whispered. Around them, a circle of flawless models froze in disbelief, their painted smiles cracking. The billionaire's face turned cold as marble because his daughter had just shattered the choice he thought he controlled. The ballroom glittered with gold and crystal, every surface polished until it gleamed like pride itself. Dozens of women stood in a perfect row, their gowns flowing, their beauty as sharp and cold as glass. At the center, the billionaire's voice cut through the air. "Today my daughter will choose her mother." Gasps rippled through the crowd. This was not a proposal, it was an auction of affection. His only child, Emma, barely 10, stood beside him in a dress far too grand for her small frame. She stared at the polished floor, feeling the weight of eyes that judged every breath she took. For months, her father had spoken of finding the perfect woman to raise her. The candidates were models, socialites, women who moved through life as if the world belonged to them. But Emma's eyes weren't searching the row of shimmering gowns. They were searching for someone else. And then she saw her, standing quietly at the edge of the room, holding a silver tray, Ruth, the maid. Her skin glowed a deep, beautiful brown, her uniform plain and worn. Her hands were rough from years of scrubbing floors, yet they held a warmth no silk glove could match. Ruth had been there in the shadows when Emma woke from nightmares, bringing warm milk without being asked. She had sewn the loose button on Emma's favorite cardigan when no one else noticed. She spoke little, but her eyes always said, "I see you." The models stepped forward, each smiling at Emma, bending low to meet her gaze. Perfume clouded the air, expensive and suffocating. But all Emma could think about was the faint scent of soap and lavender that followed Ruth whenever she passed by. "Go on," her father urged. "Choose." Her heart pounded. This choice wasn't supposed to be hers, not really. He expected her to pick one of the dazzling women he had chosen. The room was silent, except for the faint clinking of glasses somewhere far away. Slowly, Emma took a step forward, but not toward the line of models. She crossed the shining marble floor toward the corner where Ruth stood. "I want her," Emma said, her voice soft but unshakable. The air fractured. Conversation stopped mid-breath. The billionaire's eyes narrowed. "Emma, she's just the maid." "She's the one who's been my mother all along. You told me to choose. I choose her." The silence deepened, heavy as stone. Ruth's eyes brimmed, but she stayed still, unsure if she was allowed to speak. Every model stood frozen, unsure whether to be insulted or relieved. The billionaire's pride had been pierced in front of everyone. "You could have had anyone," he said coldly. Emma met his gaze, her small hands clutching Ruth's. "I don't want anyone. I want someone who cares without being told to. That's worth more than beauty. That's worth more than money." The words hung in the air like a verdict. A few in the crowd looked away, ashamed they had never noticed the quiet love that had been there all along. And then, something shifted. The billionaire's jaw tightened, but his voice softened barely. "If that's your choice, so be it." Ruth knelt, her hands trembling as she embraced Emma. No applause came, no grand music, only the quiet dignity of truth spoken without fear. Sometimes the strongest power is not in wealth or beauty, but in silent, consistent love. The crowd parted as Ruth and Emma walked out together. No diamonds, no designer gowns, only the steady clasp of two hands that needed nothing else to be whole.
The chandelier's light fell on them like a blessing, and for the first time that night, Emma felt free. Love isn't measured in wealth, status, or perfect appearances. It's found in the quiet acts no one asks for, but everyone needs. If this story touched you, share it with someone who believes in the power of simple, selfless love. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories that honor the silent heroes who change lives without seeking credit.